Morning. Welcome to my live stream. Welcome to my cactus live stream. Cactus care, sowing out. I brought many different cactus seedlings. So yeah, welcome to my stream. Great to have you. Took a little bit longer this morning. I filmed the video for social media just because I had sorted out a few B-grade copies that I added to my shop. So have a look if you want a book and it's not in the budget because the other one is too expensive. I have a few that have minor cover dents that I added to my shop at trichocerois.net. So check it out. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the stream. Great to have you. Thank you. Automated translator again. But yeah, great to be back. Have stuff today again. And like I said, I added a bunch of books that had minor cover deficits, little scratches, really minor stuff. And I put these in the shop too. And yeah, I'm kind of phasing out of the book business a little bit, trying to get my space back here that I can build a bigger video set. So a few of the books need to go. Goodbye, books. But yeah, always happy to ship them out because they are beautiful. They are well made, and I'm always proud when I ship them out. So check it out. And let's get started with the seedlings. I brought a lot again, and I made a mess. Here's something that I dropped. I dropped a big container full of seedlings. Now I just need to find it. And we might have to transplant them. Yeah, check it out. I dropped this thing, and it's a huge mess. Let's open up and have a look. Yeah, and there are a lot of seedlings that are way, way, way down. So we will have to fix that today in today's stream. This isn't a huge problem, but of course this is not good. I would rather not have that. But now that we do, we'll see what we can do with it. Apart from that, I have a few more seedlings again, and I finally wanna pot up this poor little chili plant that I hadn't planted yet. Every day when I've been doing the stream, I did so many different things and always forgot to repot this one. So now I'm trying to do my best to do it right away. I just need to get a pot. I brought a few pots that are down there. Let me just... Okay. So I will just get a little bit of soil. So we can transplant, so we can repot that little chili plant here. I still have it in that original pressed soil tablet thing that I used to sow out. So now it's time to go into something else. Little chili plant. Not really strong yet, but I am sure it will, within the next 2 weeks, when it gets a little bit of fertilizer maybe, and it can grow a little under our lamp, that thing will look much better. So welcome to my stream. This is a cactus stream. Sowing out. I've sown out a lot of cactus seedlings on the live stream, and we will discuss them. Right now, I am repotting a chili plant that we have sown out recently. Just a little interesting kind of chili. And we'll see what will come from them. Maybe they will give us a few nice chilies in a few months. I'm not sure how long they take. But I will try to make it work inside. It's a little too early, I think, for the season. So I will just do my best to kind of make it happen anyways. So yeah, now this thing here has its own pot. I will put that under my plant lamp later. And it will chill. It will grow a little. I think I need to repot it in maybe 3 weeks. Until then, this will be great. So let's get started. Just cleaning up a little before I continue. I only wanted to do this in the beginning because there's always something that I need to do and then I forget. So let's discuss the cactus seedlings that I brought here. I have a few. Some of them are still in the bags. Some of them in like already out of the humidity, just in the square pot. And I'm spraying them a few times a day. Hey, welcome to the stream. Great to have you. Thank you. Yeah, so let's have a look what's going on in there. In this one, I only see one seedling. Bigger one. Check it out. So I don't like how big, like these big chunks of soil. I want to fix that now. I don't like that. When you have this big piece of soil that almost covers the whole seedling, I will take that out now. Just to give the seedling a little bit more light. So I'm trying to excavate it because it should get a lot of light. It's a little tiny cactus seedling. So I will try to improve the soil here. I don't know why the soil was so puffy, but it was too puffy for the seedling. So now I've kind of fixed the root, the connection to the soil. Just making sure it's firmly connected to the soil. It's important that the little cactus seedling has its lifeline. And now I can put it back in the bag, leave it there for another couple of weeks or so. This hasn't grown much. It's very young. It should have grown a little bit more with the age that it has. I think this should definitely be a couple of months old, and it should be bigger for that. So let me just water a little. Just putting in a little bit of water. And then we'll start. Is this a joke? Is this a joke? I'm having political spam in the live stream. That's really a little bit. I can't believe it. I should screenshot this. I would love to screenshot this because I've never seen political spam in the live stream. Guys, this is a. I'm sorry, but not in my live stream. Unbelievable. I really need to look at that again later. This is wild. This is really wild. So yeah, let's continue. Let's put this little seedling here into the soil. Just giving it everything it needs to grow. Yeah. And it needs to stay in the bag for at least a month or two. I'm not seeing any kind of real growth here. So I just wanted to do my best to improve the situation in there. It was getting too dark. Yeah. That was really wild. You guys don't want me to comment politically. You don't want me to, guys. Like when I see comments like that, I really hate that. I dislike that, you know? Actually, I always wanted to stay completely apolitical. It wasn't, I really tried, like I did my best to stay out of politics. But it ended up this essential, like really about essential rights, you know, like so many important rights, like the freedom to have your opinion, to disagree with the government, you know, to say what you want, that kind of stuff, you know. And right now, I see a lot of anti-democratic behavior in politics, and I want nothing to do with it. It's my gut instinct, you know. But I believe in good, positive values. I'm not someone who kind of. Right now, we need people that believe in building stuff again long term, trying to improve the world. And right now, I see a lot of anger politics, like they're trying to just rile people up against whatever is currently, you know, whatever they can use. And that is not how I see politics. I believe in solving problems in politics. So, and they're not doing that. That's why I can't take it. I really can't. We could do so much better with this planet, like how it is right now, us humans. Like if you look at how many species we lose every day, just the species, just animals, plants, whatever. We lose so much every day. and that's not the. I don't feel like people are seeing eye to eye on that, because it's really, these are matters that really, that should be much higher concern politically. I'm not seeing that. I'm just seeing currently a lot of anger and no real solutions. We have quite unique problems today, you know, and I believe in trying to work together to build a better future. And that's also what I'm not seeing in politics right now. That kind of the other side are people too. I'm not seeing that right now, and that's why I don't like it like that. I'm missing all that kind of respect that used to be so common, that you could agree to disagree politically. I'm not seeing that right now. It's become about essential rights that are important, and I always support that. I've come from a free country, like I was born in a free country. I had a great education. I had the chance that I lived in a country that had healthcare, healthcare that caught me up when I was really ill. You know, I've had so bad Lyme disease I couldn't talk anymore, and these are the people. The fact that I'm sitting here being able to do that is because there are these safety nets, you know, that catch you when you fall, and I find that important, because it gave me the chance to be here today, because it gave me the chance to speak English now. I had to learn it. I had a great education, and I enjoy that, and I want that to stay around. I want that the next generations also have that privilege to say what they want, to disagree with who they want, and to live in a free country. And I find it immensely important, even more important that, like, it is a privilege that I can do this here, that I can focus on the plants, and I greatly love what I do. I find it immensely important for people to give that mental health space where people can go. I find that immensely important. But I also I felt like you reach a certain age when you realize that it matters sometimes. Like, there are moments when it really matters, and I felt like right now is a moment when it really matters, that I have a clear opinion, that I sometimes talk about the stuff that goes on, like, in my life, and like also what I think about society. I don't really want to talk about politics. I don't want to talk about parties. We have different. Every country has a different party, and but we have a lot of common problems. That's the type of stuff that I often comment on, like these problems, like, you know, a lot of inflation. I've experienced poverty. I've been really poor in my life, and yeah, that's important. Like, I believe in a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about, like catching people when they fall, making sure they can at some point become a member of society again, like a tax-paying, you know, working member. Sometimes you have a heart attack. It shouldn't be the end of the life, you know. That's what I'm saying. And yeah, I don't want to talk about parties right now. I'm not seeing any kind of answers to the problems that I always criticize from any kind of party. Right now, like in the German government right now, they are kind of decimating the already small wolf population in Germany. They have changed the law that it's easier to decimate the wolf packs again after we didn't have them for hundreds of years. And I find it wild. I can't believe it. You know what's going on there? You know, like that thought process. We now have, for the first time in hundreds of years, these amazing animals. Of course, they pose new problems to people who raise cattle, and the government needs to help these people, like to build higher fences, have some sort of a grant that people can apply to, really support the livestock people who lose them to wolves. But wolves are such amazing animals. We can't really lose them. So yeah, I was so happy to see them come back all over Germany, And the current move, politics, it feels like everything that they listen to is about lobbyism, lobbying, everything else, not of concern. And I'm really mad about that. So I'm currently, no matter what party, I'm not really feeling like they represent what I believe in. Like, so yeah. Let's get back to the cactus. But I didn't start this here, So I'm getting back to comment. How has your overall experience with German healthcare been? Well, there's good and bad. The important thing with German healthcare is that you usually don't have to pay the stuff. There are times when you had to pay $10 every time you went to the doctor, like to the general practitioner, for example. But they have a great healthcare system. I remember when I was bitten by a bat, I had a little bat in the house, like these little tiny flying bats, and it got stuck behind the heater, and I tried to get it out from behind the heater to let it free, to let it out, and that thing bit me. And at the time, I had to get a super expensive rabies shot. I had to really get, like, they gave me stuff that was so big, like syringes. They poked me with syringes that were pretty big. I had to get 5-6 rabies shots, like against rabies, like that kind of stuff that they give you. And I think that would have already bankrupted me without anything else, without any kind of illness that I would have had. And in my life, it was always good that there's this minimum of a healthcare system that keeps you alive. Like, they don't pay a lot of stuff like teeth, dental stuff. They often do not pay, which I believe they should, because that I've been incredibly ill due to my jaw problems that I had from a dental surgery. And but yeah, they usually pay. And it doesn't keep you from being able to access important medicine. Like when you get a cancer diagnosis, it's not the end of the world, Like, just as an example, just today, my mother is in the hospital today because she wasn't doing well, and they want to speed things up and have a close look right away. And so she's in the hospital today, and they will get that settled within the next few days. She will stay at the hospital, but they will fix that now. Like, they at least, they will give her MRI. They will, all that kind of the important stuff that they can give her. And we will see what comes from that, I hope everything's all right, but that she had that date within a few days. And it's not normal here too. This was just possible because there's such a long history beforehand that they wanted to rush things along now. But it's a good healthcare system in general. But I worked for healthcare. I worked in healthcare for a year and a half, and it's not it's a very bad industry. Like that, like health insurance. I worked health insurance for 1.5 years, and I was deeply unhappy. And there's constant struggles between the health insurance companies and the government, because the health insurance companies they use every chance not to pay, and the government always needs to have an eye on it. Otherwise, they would use every chance to weasel out of important payments that they need to do in that kind of social system that they have in Germany, So you need to have that constant eye on the healthcare system, on the health insurance system. Otherwise, it becomes completely mad. They would increase the prices like what you are seeing in other countries where things are so bad, where people really have to decide if they want to go to the doctor or not. And I believe it shouldn't, that decision, if when you have something life-threatening that you can't afford to go to the doctor, we shouldn't have that in our society today. We are rich enough. Our society is so rich today in many ways. They pay so much for you know, defensive kind of things. They spend so much money, so it should be possible to at least give people a somewhat good healthcare system, because it's also important that people stay healthy, because people work. They are also the capital of the country. These people become scientists and doctors and just important people everywhere. They are needed everywhere. And if you lose someone every time they get ill, that's a waste. That's unfortunate. So I believe in that, you know. Not bad. That's my opinion of the healthcare system so far. But you always have problems. You always have doctors that are just completely out of touch with reality. You have these long delays, like you need to wait a very long time for an appointment sometimes. Like important stuff, sometimes you need 3 to 6 months for bigger kind of stuff. So it takes a while sometimes. Okay, let's move to the cacti. I'm sorry for drifting off, but this was a unusual stream because I haven't really had political spam in my comment section before, and it kind of turned into an interesting discussion. But yeah, so these here are very small. Not really sure what's going on with them. I feel like some of them have a different type of green than the others. Zizala. Maybe it has a little bit of variegation. We will see. And again, I'm always happy to, like we did now. This is a plant-themed stream, but every now and then I'm also happy to go off script, you know, to just have a discussion, because I like that. I don't want to have that film medium where I always sit here and say the same stuff. You know, it's important to also every now and then be alive. I try to be alive with this thing when I do it. I don't want to know completely what's going to happen every time. I would appreciate if I don't have to ban so many spammers in the stream, in the chat, but that's it. So yeah, these to show there are too many, but that is a problem that is common for me. For now, they are good in there. I can see a little space in between the seedlings, and that's good enough for me. So they will stay in there for now. They need a little bit more water. I have seen that they could be a little bit more hydrated. So I brought the tub of hydration. This is the ancient tub of hydration, and I will use it to water the seedlings. I just try not to completely soak the desk again. So I've been trying to record vintage. Like I also like to talk about my vintage hobby, and from time to time I try to do a video, and then my desk has large pieces of soil on it. You know, it's really hard to do anything on this desk apart from gardening. So yeah, I'm trying to work a little bit cleaner here. That's why I brought the tub of hydration. It's the official name. Okay, so I watered the seedlings a little bit, and I will spray them 2 or 3 more times today. They will go under the lamp again. I have toned down the heat a little bit because I realized that I can't water so fast that the water disappears again. So I have reduced the temperature just a little bit, not much, but a little bit, to keep the water in the seedlings a little bit longer. So next one. Yeah, looking good. For now, they have a mild discoloration, a little bit reddish, the kind of reddish stuff that you see when they react to light, when they get a little bit too much light. But for now, that's good. So they will be watered Okay. So next one. This is too full. This is entirely too many seedlings. We will have to single them out sometime soon, very soon. Because in this case they are pressing against the walls of the container here, and that is just bad. That is asking for trouble. So at some point in the next days we will start to singling them out. It's getting a little bit difficult with all the cactus seedlings inside, but it will work. You know, I will make it work. I'm looking forward being able to show all the seedlings long term. You know, I can show you, okay, this is a seedling that is maybe 6 months old, and can put a seedling besides it that is 3 years old. Yeah, Parodia, I had a lot of them in the past. They are cool. I like them, especially when they are bigger. They can become very impressive, flowering nicely. I had there was a time when I bought a big cactus collection, and there were so many different cacti among them. Also Parodia. At the time, they were still called Noto Cactus, and yeah, had a lot of big plants. At the time, I didn't have the space to keep them. I regret that today, because I would have loved to have some of those plants that I gave away back then. But you can't keep everything in life. That's just how it is. So yeah. Okay. Check this out. Seeing very diverse type of growth in the seedlings, different types of growth. Some of them look normal, and others could be crested, could be monstrous. That is the kind of unusual growth that you sometimes get. Yeah, they look good. Apart from that, I will water them. They've been fertilized, gotten quite a nice dose of fertilizer, and now they are growing. Most of them are already through the most difficult, most dangerous phase. Like that time in the beginning when the seedlings are so tiny. Let me show you what's still a dangerous size. This here. These are still at a, like the size is not big enough to say, okay, they are through the worst. They are not through the weeds yet. I'm not sure like where that saying comes from, but it would make sense to use it in something like this, you know. We're not through the weeds yet, because like so many different weeds in the beginning can be bad for the seedlings too. So yeah, let's water a little bit more. I have a lot of seedlings that all have one thing in common: they need water. Been watering every day, 3 times minimum, but they dehydrate pretty fast. So this goes back to the lamp. So these here, also pretty full container. Apart from that, this is a columnar plant crossed with a flowering, like a interesting flower as a father. Plant with an interesting flower as father. So these could be great. Body looks a little bit columnar, and that is great for me. That is what I like. I want to have that columnar body with a good flower. So yeah, really, I'm still, every now and then I'm still shaking my head, because like it doesn't happen often that any kind of like political stuff comes up. So today I was really, I was like, am I dreaming? Am I so urgently that they come into my cactus stream to kind of look for members? like political spam. So yeah, if I'm their last hope, then they are really, then it's not looking good for them. You know, like right now in Germany, the political landscape is getting difficult. I see the same stuff that I see in the United States. The European, like the German politicians have looked at that and felt like, yeah, we should try that too. And now it's a dangerous time. And I'm somewhere in between. I don't really want to put myself into anyone's corner, because even the parties that I'm more aligned with in the values that I represent, even those do stuff that I don't agree with. So yeah, like right now, I'm not agreeing with the government, like what they are doing, but I'm not really a political person. I don't want to be one, so I don't really comment on that a lot. But I make no secret out of the fact that I just believe in certain stuff that I don't see enough in a lot of political parties right now. Like, and I would rather see myself as somewhat conservative person, and the fact that I'm saying that, like in view of what conservative views have become today, I'm just a very tolerant kind of guy. I have tolerance for a lot of things. I believe in helping when you can. Just it's the classic values that they've always been preaching, like, you know, and I kind of stand for them a little bit. Not much. I'm a cactus grower. I don't need to, but I try to, when I do my videos, when I try to do my stuff, I try to be myself. And yeah, I'm constantly grinding in, like, I don't really feel like any kind of party gets what I'm saying. They are like, they're completely, it's like they have completely misheard what everyone's been saying, like the kind of change that people would love to see. So yeah, I don't want to get into anyone's corner, but there are good values that I will always get behind. That's what I wanted to say. That's why how I react to one party posting in my stream. I removed it now from the comments. But yeah, I hate to see what's happening right now. So I've been friends with so many people, and right now it's become more difficult to stay friends, and I don't want that. I really want to show that, like, right now is a difficult time. It's a dangerous time. It's a dangerous time for democracy, and I believe that things will end well for us. I really believe in that things will come out, that we will come out of this good, like better, being able to rebuild, having a nice world again, where you can maybe live in peace. But we're not there, you know. And it's become so difficult for me as a creator. As a creator, I have a moral compass, but I don't want to preach. I just wanna I would have loved to stay out of all that, but I also don't want to stand here in 10, 20 years when I look back at what happened, like right now, and I was completely quiet, completely silent. When I see something that I personally dislike, I won't hold back. If someone asks me the right questions, I won't hold back. So yeah, let's get started with the other stuff. I still have a lot of seedlings that I wanted to show you. So maybe we can fix the seedlings that have fallen into the depth. So this one here, these are many very young seedlings, just germinated. And I've did a germination test with this, and this is also great. This is Isla del Sol, like that hybrid that I have, where I did a hybrid cross with it. And yeah, last time I tested the viability, it was 0, and now it's viable. Now it's good. So I'm really really happy about seeing these seedlings here. Okay. So in this case, this is difficult because now I have a huge gap in between the seedlings, like a size gap, like the height gap here. This is hard to fix. I need to pick them all up, like take this whole thing out, fill it up with water, with soil, with new soil, and then reposition the seedlings. So I would take out a bunch of the seedlings now, so I have a little space to work. These are so young. This is really dangerous for the seedlings. I really hate that that I have to do it now. But at this point, they are so small. I would have loved to not move them in any way. They should have sat there completely still, just focusing on growing, just focusing on growing roots. So yeah, unfortunately we have to do that. But it looks okay. The roots of most of the seedlings look okay. So I will take that out. Okay. Okay. So I would just try to get all the seedlings out of this thing. And then I will fill this thing up, the other side that is missing. And then I try to put the seedlings there again. But this should really not have happened. I'm sure if you ever had to do this, like once, transplanting seedlings this small and moving them around, looking for them in the soil, it's really not fun. It has only happened because for one, Kami has knocked one or two down. I'm not sure which one this was. And I'm also pretty clumsy with the lime, with the mussels. I constantly drop stuff. So this is normal work for me. There are even more now down there. So okay, I got them all out, I think. Here's the label. Let's see what it is. Hope it's nothing super great. Fast 12. It's a really good hybrid. I'm really unhappy about that. But okay, I will try to fix it. So I will fill this up with soil again. I brought a little soil there. And it will be difficult to get that other side, to have exactly the same humidity. So we need to be a little bit more careful there, having everything at one level. So, okay, I will try to get that right side to have somewhat of a humidity again. Neoraimondia, I have grown too. If the seeds are fresh, they're somewhat okay to grow, not so difficult, but you need to, Probably a little bit careful with the drainage. Good drainage might really help there, especially long term. Very often the seeds are not viable, so that makes a big difference sometimes. So, okay, it takes a while. It always takes a while until the soil has fully soaked. And in this case, it was particularly dry. I usually try to get it hydrated before I start the stream, but today everything was a little bit difficult. Yeah. So I will try to get this at a somewhat similar kind of humidity, and then we will start with the seedlings that I have in front of me. This takes a little. So yeah. I want to fix these, by the way. I've seen them like when I recorded the video earlier, I've seen them like in the foreground, and I felt like I should have fixed that before I did the video. So I want to do that now, like that one seedling that is lying there. That bothered me so much during my video that I need to do it now. So just getting that seedling into the soil again. So yeah, we'll see. Okay. Trying to get the humidity also. Getting the humidity right is also one of the main things to do. Like you have to make sure that everything is so humid that the roots can grow, that the little seedlings can grow, that they do not dry out. But it can't be too wet either. You have to find that middle ground. So yeah, I'm pretty sure someone tried to troll me earlier with like this. I'm sure. I really can't believe that the political parties are walking around trying to recruit people in cactus streams today. I'm really interested now. I will investigate that later after the stream. I can't believe it, you know. So yeah, I will try to place the seedlings on top of the soil here, and I try to carefully do it without injuring the roots and everything. So, okay. This cross, I hope we can save all the seedlings that have fallen down. And Kami has really messed a few seedlings up in the last days. I came in and she was just lying on top of the seedlings, like kind of sleeping, you know. So every now and then I might find a seedling that is just flat, and I just can't get her to stop. It's just, you know how it is with them. They have their own mind, and I don't want to be too harsh. There are so many cactus seedlings in this house. It doesn't really matter if we have one more or less. It's really I don't care. I actually should sort out more. So maybe she has done me a favor. Okay. Trying to move every little seedling, and there are so many. It's crazy how many seedlings you have within such a little piece of plastic. Only gets visible when you have to transplant them all, when you have to every single one pot them up, like give them a personal repositioning every time. It's a lot of seedlings. It just adds up. And it's also a mess. Yeah. So we're getting somewhere. I'm almost done. Almost have them there. But I really regret that this happened. It happened a little too early. If it happens a little later, then it's not so bad. Okay. So, okay. I'm almost done, and then I will water them to wash away the dirt that is sticking to them. I want the seedlings to be somewhat accessible, you know, have them nice and clean. Light needs to get to them. When they are covered with soil, covered with mud, that's not really good for the seedlings. They cannot tolerate that if there's humidity all over them. If it's just on the root, that it works, but if they're lying somewhere crooked in the mud, that's not working. So I need to carefully position every single seedling with the roots down into the soil, into the mud. And sometimes you have little groups of seedlings that I keep together. They are just too small to every time take them apart without serious risk to injure the root. So I will now try to carefully position every seedling. Roots down in the soil, contact with the soil, the lifeline, how I always call it. And yeah, unfortunately, you need to do it for every single seedling. Sometimes in the beginning, like it's the type of problems that you like the type of mistakes that you do when you get started. I just barely stuck them in the soil, just barely touching the soil, but not really in the soil. And that is how I lost a lot of seedlings in the beginning. And then also, because of that, due to dehydration. So yeah, we're getting there. But it's just a lot of seedlings in this one. And unfortunately, this is a good hybrid cross that I would not want to give up on. Sometimes if this was like, if I had a million seeds of these, I might say, okay, this is a lot of work for that. But in this case, it really pays off to do it. So we will. These could have great flowers. So carefully lifting every little seedling up, always trying to press them down on top of the soil, giving the root that firm connection. It really needs to be connected. Sometimes it's not so hard, it's not so easy to, like, sometimes the seedlings are upside down and you can't see it if they are dirty, so always make sure they are clean. Because if you have the seedling upside down, it will also often be the end for it. They're just not made for that. Sometimes they could survive, but in reality, they very often wouldn't. Here's a seedling that I'm taking out. This looks damaged. Probably from when I dropped it, or when Kami dropped it. I came into the thing where, like, in front of the shelf where these were placed, and it was completely down on the ground under the shelf. So I think this was Kami, but I'm not sure. In that case, it is a higher power, and I just accept it. But still doesn't mean we will lose the seedlings. We just have to invest a little bit more time here. And the more time you take for this, the better it gets. The more likely it is that the seedlings survive, that you have something that will eventually flower. For now, I need to keep them in there, like in this thing. But due to the fact that this has been shaked around, the soil is pretty high up. And that means that the seedlings get in touch with the lid very soon. So I will have to keep an eye on that. At some point very soon, they might have to be taken out. They might have to be taken out of the bag. I'm still thinking, you know, like from earlier. There's someone that's trying to troll me. This is 100% someone that's trying to troll me. So yeah, check it out. It's getting better. It's not great, but they are back in the soil. Everything's at one level again. Like I said, this was on the ground, under the shelf. I'm not even sure how long they were under the shelf. I assume Kami has shoved them under there, or maybe they fell. I could see that, but it was probably something else. So here's another seedling, by the way, that I overlooked. I'll put that thing into. And then, okay. So now I can close this up again. This will go right back, right into the, under the lamp. Have the lid here. And hopefully they will continue to grow. They now have a little bit of maybe 2 or 3 weeks time until they get too close to the lid. Until then, they hopefully have recovered enough that I can do something with them. Not really happy that it happened with them, that I dropped them, or that they were dropped, but it happens sometimes. Here's another one, but we will do that next time. I want to continue watering. Always happy to take questions if you want to discuss something. Always open to take that stream into the direction it wants to go. We will see. Hey Robert, good morning. You've really missed something earlier today. I had someone from the right party, like from the conservative party in Germany. Let's call them conservative, okay? Like spam the chat, spam the live chat, like to do political advertising. I think someone has trolled me, someone that knows me, you know, because I'm like, I said so often that I currently, like, there are a lot of people right now that support right politics, in like the right-wing politics in Germany. Germany for the first time in a long time could vote right again, really right, you know. And I'm not like that. It's that simple. I'm not angry. I know that we have a lot of problems, but there are many ways to fix them, you know. I believe in building stuff over time, building better stuff. But I'm incredibly, personally, I was always not happy with the government. Like the last 20, 30 years, Germany has been developing in the wrong direction, you know. So there are many people in Germany that are angry, and I get it. I totally get it, you know. I like so many older people that have issues, that can't afford life, and I get it. But in my opinion, it will not make things easier if they vote for a party that wants to like dissolve the European Union. In my opinion, the European Union is a good thing. They have a lot of problems, but just for consumer rights and just for being able to have free trade between the countries, like free trade between, like every time I wanted to order seeds from Great Britain, like before the Brexit, I was able to do that. I could just order what I wanted from Great Britain. And since that whole Brexit thing happened, I haven't ordered one thing, or very rarely, simply because it always adds like additional customs. You always have to pay taxes when you're importing something. We're talking about tariffs a lot, and I'm against that kind of stuff. I enjoy that in the European Union, you can buy something in every country and you don't have to pay taxes again. That is a big plus, and it's also a lot of customers come from European Union countries, So I believe in the European Union as a trade union, and I would love to have a worldwide kind of trade union again, like it used to be. So yeah, and the right parties, they have like one of the ideas that they are having is to dissolve the European Union, and I'm strictly against it. I see like it would cost so much money. It just would be unwise. It would be unwise of the likes of the Brexit, which was also unwise. And yeah, I'm just not like that. So when I'm at a difficult position because so many people in Germany, like they will at some point, the right might win government again. They might, they might do that. And then they need to, because it's always easy to talk out of the opposition, always easy to always criticize what the other side does. Like whoever's in power, whoever's in government, you don't have to do much. You can just criticize everything they do and generate anger. And I'm against that form of politics completely. I'm a person, I want to solve problems. I want to look at it, see the problem and fix it. I don't want to have ideological battles over stuff that we could easily agree on. So yeah, I don't think it was a bot. I think this is someone who knows me, because I'm not really talking about German politics a lot, because I don't want nothing to do with it. I don't want even the government, like the party that is in the government right now, and it's the former Merkel party, and they are in the government right now, and it's the same party that is at fault that Germany has developed into a bad direction in the last 20 years, like in so many different ways, and like they are losing that kind of, that they've been completely ignoring the important trends that they would have had to follow. Like everything that they are doing right now is old-time politics, and it's the same old-time politics that brought us here. That like Merkel had 20 years where she was, or 60, I don't know. She was long time where she was chancellor, and during that time she made some good decisions, but also a lot of bad ones. And so I'm not really agreeing. I don't want to put myself into any corner. And friends of mine know that, because I have people that support a right-wing party, and I can tell them why I disagree with them. I can 100% tell them the reasons it would be bad to vote for them, but I'm still open for debate. I'm having that discussion sometimes with friends of mine, with family, trying to say, hey, if here's what can happen, if and that's the kind of talk that isn't done enough of. So yeah, I really, I don't know. I'm just trying not to be drawn to politics, but it's become like everything has pretty big stakes right now. We are talking about, like, in Europe, they look closely at the United States. They look closely what's happening in the United States. And I want to be able to criticize my government every time. I want to be able to have the right to have an opinion, to disagree with the government, to disagree with whoever is in power. Just basic. And right now the trend is going away from that. You know, they're doing a lot of anti-democratic stuff, and I don't like it. And that's as far as I'm going to politics, saying that I'm firmly against that, but because it will lead us into a bad future. Look at all the dictatorships, how they are doing, or somewhat dictatorships, how isolated they are, how bad life is. I believe in a free world, like trade agreements, being trade partners worldwide again. And we can always debate about certain stuff politically. I'm someone I can always listen to valid criticism. But today, a lot of what's happening in politics isn't valid criticism. It's just completely hating what the other side is doing all the time. And I can't have that. Can't have that in my life. I can't have that. Like I saw, like with the pages, if I wanna be political, if I wanna use my power, like my reach to be political, and I don't want that. I want to be a good person. I want to stand for the values that are part of that. I try to maybe do a little bit of animal protections on my channel, or gardening, old values, back to nature. That's the kind of stuff that I want to do. I don't want to have people being angry about me because I disagree with them. I'm a very tolerant kind of guy. I always try to understand what's happening in people to have that opinion. And I always have, like, my ears are open for that kind of stuff, But right now, I don't believe the future that they are trying to build somehow is a good future. I believe we can have a better future if we take out the rage a little bit, be a little bit more kind to each other again, talk about problems again, because right now it doesn't matter. Just like, they are not trying to solve problems. They look at an issue and think, okay, this could be useful against the other party. If we completely block any kind of progress about that issue, then they will look bad. And that is bad politics. That is the kind of politics where no progress ever happens. And I don't believe in that. I believe in strengthening science. I'm a supporter of science and medicine, good medicine that has saved so many people, that is currently every day making sure that people survive. I believe in all that, and only a free country can have the freedom to be honest. Sometimes when in dictatorships, a lot of progress wasn't even made because they had to because what they came out with didn't really wasn't really what the people who ran the country wanted to hear. So I believe that I'm not even against capitalism in the strictest way. I believe capitalism can work, but you have to give it strict boundaries. So yeah, strong healthcare system, that kind of stuff. I believe in that. Everything else, other people should argue about that. But when it comes in my stream, I'm kind of forced to comment on that because I'm not supporting. I don't want to have the appearance that I support a political party. So and since it's right wing, you always have to keep that in mind. I don't want to be put into that direction because I'm not my kind of politics that I would do isn't from that kind of point. There's some stuff like in Germany, they have brought in so many people from other cultures, millions, and some of it has backfired in a way. Like, they had problems getting these people into jobs, and that is like there's room for discussion. You can argue about that. You can debate about that. You can debate about at which point, like, they are paying a lot of money to people that don't even work, you know, and that is the kind of stuff that where I'm really hearing the criticism, like valid criticism, that they pay for so many people, but there's so many problems in the country that they could pay for. But that kind of way of thinking, that they are not discussing this in a sane manner. It is always hyperbole, always to enrage, always to argue, always to portray something in social media, to anger people, and I don't want that. I feel like we need to take the anger out, be kind again. And when they start doing that, maybe their criticism is heard. But right now, I'm just hearing people shouting. Unfortunately, it is there are times when it's difficult. Like you can agree to disagree, and it was always possible, or I felt it was possible for a very long time, but right now we are just talking about important rights, you know, the freedom to stand there at the corner and say your opinion. Have you then, who's the chancellor, being able to stand there, and that you can continue to do that. It's an important right, you know, and I just, like, I see many things right now, like where society goes away from the way it was before. Like, I feel society is becoming a little bit harsher, uglier, and I don't like that, you know. I try to counteract with what I do. That's why I try to also talk about that. I'm open to I want what I think, that people hear what I say, you know. It's just it anymore. I really can't take it anymore. So yeah. We will see how this will go. But I was greatly surprised to have that in my stream. I will ask people if they maybe had something to do with that, which I could really see. I know people, you know, that well, we'll see. I don't want to. So these here need to be singled out. We will have a singling out event sometime soon where we're just singling out seedlings, nothing else. And it will take a few hours. So these need water. So let's water a little bit more. And again, I apologize when some of my streams go into a different direction. I just feel I can't not comment. It's the one thing that I can't. Because I come from Germany. Because I was born in Germany, because I had the luck that I grew up at a time in Germany when it was free, and I want to make sure it stays like that. But I'm not trying to have too much of it, you know. If it comes up, I will discuss it, but it's not the goal of my stream. I think people should get, like, if they really want to learn something politically, there are smart people that can tell them. Yeah, in this case, they're like, most of them are overcrowded, most of the containers that I have here. So it's become kind of too much lately. You need to do it from time to time, and I personally don't like to do it. I try to have them in the container if I can, but in order to do that, you can only maybe keep 5 seedlings. 5 seedlings, 5 to 10 at the very most, but probably rather 5. And yeah, I think there are only a few pots that only have so few seedlings. Yeah. But they can take it, you know, just make sure that you don't break the root, and everything else will follow. So here, I transplanted seedlings. They've been They've been really stressed and I need to do a lot of work here. This needs to be watered first, and then I can move the seedlings a little bit. Okay. Here's a seedling that I want to take out. This has an orange root. And when the root is orange, that is not a good sign. Usually fungal infection, damping off. Sometimes also because the seedling got kind of handled too harshly. But it has no really, not a good prognosis. In most cases, it would not make it. So I'm taking it out now. Yeah, and I mean, all my life, like going through life, I would have never thought that I'm at some point, like when I'm older, that I would be in a position where I seem like consider myself to be one of the better ones today. I would have never thought that I would be in that position. And that tells you how bad things are, like how bad things currently are, like how many problems there are right now. Because I'm just glad, like when I look at over the last 2 years, 3 years, I really tried my best to be positive and to be kind, you know, all those little things that you do not see enough of right now. I felt like I really need to do it right now, be like that. And yeah, I'm glad that I'm doing that. But right now it's really difficult. It's a really difficult time for me personally, and also right now is when it really counts. That's how I feel it. I don't know what will happen in the next years, but I think things will get easier again very soon. I feel like we're just now having a little bit, going through a difficult time. But I believe that we can come out of this better. And I know it because I have the life experience. I've been around for long. I've known so many, like I've seen many different presidents in my life. I still remember, the original Bush. And yeah, you just kind of it gives you a little bit perspective when you're currently going through a rough time. It helps you to see things a little bit more from the distance, like a little bit like through the lens of history, how people will look back at this time right now. And I know that when people will look back, they will also see a lot of good in between. And yeah, that's right now what I focus on. Not only like what I do, I just try to be what I do not see a lot of today. I've seen so many of my online experiences, people is really become bad. So for the first time in my life, I feel like I have some sort of a responsibility, like an obligation in a way to kind of not throw it away what I have here. We could do good here, stand for good values. That's what I mean. And but it's kind of hard to do that today because apparently a lot of the stuff that I consider just good stuff, like good values in life, has become political. I didn't do it. I wasn't. It's not that I chose this, you know. I didn't want to be political. I wanted to have the privilege to just be silent completely, because it's dangerous to have an opinion always. And when two people argue, you can get in between very fast, like get caught in the middle. Are you woke? I'm just replying to a comment. Are you woke? Do you mean do you mean that I believe in treating people with respect, like having the right to stay on the corner, to have an opinion. Yeah, I believe in that. You know, land of the free. I believe in that. I really believe in that. And I feel like a lot of people are forgetting that is important, that are always used to be important. You know, that's the problem. That's the problem. You can never really. People always repeat what the party tells them to repeat. That there's not a concrete discussion, like saying, hey, maybe we should do this and that. Maybe we should change this and that. Right now, politics is just hate. It's just hate, and you can see it in your comments. And that's why what I really do not stand for. That's what I really hate. Because we could do good. We could actually try to improve the world again. So much of I'm pretty common sense. I'm at common sense, okay? Whatever that may be. If the right wants to position themselves in a completely obscene way, like where you are against all kinds of important things, like like I have homosexual friends, like just an example, gay friends, you know, and when I see people being like the way they are treated today, it sickens me. Okay, I find it offensive, because we had that settled in the 90s or in the 2000s, like in the early 2000s, and right now, so much of politics is just hate. There's no longer that. I used to be able to have a discussion with my Republican friends, like at the time of McCain, whatever. Like that was the last time I could say that there was that attempt to actually, on the other side, to actually also improve the country. I see a lot of everything that the other side does, like when they're trying a reform, doing anything, like any kind of change, it's always blocked. It's always blocked. That's not how you can actually improve a country. Thank you. Yeah, being kind, having that, like I believe in having healthcare. That is like we are very rich, you know, like so many countries are very rich. The fact that they could give you healthcare and decide not to is a huge thing. I believe that could really help people have higher quality of life. And I can't believe it. And I also can't believe that currently so many are cheering to have taken away the right to say their opinion, like to stand there with a sign that is against the president, like that kind of stuff. I'm not political. That's just basic democracy. That's good. That's good. That's good. If you like, I believe in that too, because so often people stumble and fall, you know, and if you have a heart attack, you can never pay taxes again. Like if you don't make it, so it just makes sense to help people, you know. Right now, I'm not seeing that kind of that really both sides are trying to solve problems. It's really become like the fact that I have become that the things that I say have become political. That's just because politics has changed, trying to take away basic rights. And yeah, if that makes me left, I'm not even seeing myself on the left. I see myself somewhere in the middle. And if someone's making, like, let's say the way it's going in Europe, okay? Like in Germany, they have taken in millions of people from other countries, millions of people from other cultures. And I believe that it is important to give people the chance to, when they are fleeing from war, it is important to take them in. But they are doing much more than that. So you can have a very good discussion. Like people are really criticizing how they use the tax money in combination with like they have been funding they have been funding a lot of stuff that you can discuss about, is what I'm saying. You know, like with you can be a country that takes in refugees, that gives them the chance to work, you know, but you don't have to just send them money just because they are there, you know. Like
right now they are making a lot of good. They are making a lot of points that you can, where you could actually try to start negotiating, having a talk, and right now it's tearing society apart, like that kind of a rift between. I can't align with those values, you know. Yeah, like another thing that I do not get: how can the highest court of a country be politically tainted? You know, like that kind of stuff. That is the kind of stuff that keeps people from having actual progress. Like if you have the highest court of a country, like the Supreme Court, right? It's in the United States. I get the impression it's just Republicans, or it's like to a large degree. So you can never really, like, if that one side doesn't really want any kind of progress to be made, you will never have that, because they can always end it politically, like in the court, because they have the highest court under them, and that's just a bad system. That's just not how you can solve problems, like long-term problems. I feel like the fact that these two parties, like the Democrats and the Republicans, that they don't accidentally agree more often, it's wild, you know, like that you can have that a politician that is voted to lead the country can say, yeah, we are just blocking that, you know, we are blocking that, and they are blocking a lot of progress. That's the type of stuff that I currently do not get with, and I'm not even like with Trump, you know. I personally think Trump is just a symptom for the problems that people have. A lot of poverty, a lot of unhappiness, people losing jobs, you know. I understand all that, you know. So, but they are currently, like, they are not having a normal government anymore. This is going to a point where they are cheering to have taken away rights that they have demanded, like where they made it a big deal beforehand. So yeah, that's how I think. I'm not woke. If this is the answer, I'm not woke. I'm really not. I'm really not. I just see a political landscape where no positive change is possible. Like right now, I'm not seeing that big positive change. We would see how, you know, you always have to wait and judge every president accordingly, like history will judge them. It's not my job. I don't really care for that. I care for the planet. I care for animals. I would really love to have a clean planet, have healthy species, like not losing so many species anymore. I would feel like we need to leave more space for animals all around the cities, so they can, because right now when we're cementing everything is devoid of life. We need that insect life again. That's the kind of stuff that I care for. And yeah, if they ever get back to common sense, following real common sense in politics, I might get political again, but for now I'm not. Yes, they have. Yes, they have every right to enforce immigration laws. That is true. But what they are currently doing is they are building up an armed militia that is outside the legal system. They are not even having their faces shown. You can't even complain. You can't even really find the people that they are snatching off the streets. That is the problem. Okay, there's a difference between that. They are going after people holding a smartphone in their hands. Yeah, I'm sure. The fact that even one person lost his life standing there with a smartphone would already be enough if the situation were reversed, if Obama were president, or any other Democrat president. Just the fact that they are not consistent. And I'm not even an American. It's not my country. You guys have to live there. I just feel like it would be good to strive for progress. And right now they're protecting so many people. I'm not seeing any kind of accountability for the cop. Like, So many people are poor right now. Inflation is eating us up. It's a difficult time right now. And I don't really see any change. I'm for having some sort of a strict immigration law. I believe if someone's a criminal, then you don't, you don't have to keep a criminal guest, okay? But whether something is criminal or not should be settled through a legal system, and they're kind of surpassing that right now. There's even these guys are almost immune right now. They are shielded from any repercussion, and with how many people they are like how many people are working for them without getting proper training, you will just have an immense amount of people that are suffering from that are because they're not even because they want to. They might even want to react under pressure, but then they stand there. You have someone that only joined because of the bonus that they were hoping to get, and then they stand there and can't deal with the pressure to have a protester in front of them. That is the kind of stuff that will happen so often, and it feels like they're immune from any kind of legal system. They originally even said they would not go after anyone, and that is a bad sign for a country when they are saying that kind of stuff. So yeah, okay, was great that we talked about it, guys. I just feel like I don't want to be political. Look at how they are, how politics is doing, like how the political influencers, how bad it has become, or how bad. I don't like that. I don't like that kind of constant increasing of tensions. I believe that you can always talk with each other. I really believe that. But right now it's really difficult to be silent. When I have many American friends, I have people that live in Minneapolis that are dear friends of mine that I really worry about. And I see people being scared, really being scared to have their opinion, to say their opinion. People being scared because they could lose, they could lose their visa, whatever. It's just not how it used to be, and everyone knows it. Like that freedom of speech. If you lose it, it's gone. Yeah, sure. I'm not. No. You will see. The one thing that dictatorships have in common, they are moody. If you ever are on the receiving end of that kind of thing, and then you might see it differently. When you agree with something that the government does, it's a different thing when they're suddenly starting with something that you do. I believe in like that. There's a court of law. Just being able to say, okay, here's a legal document that a judge has signed. You need to leave the country. That kind of stuff. Basic accountability. I was born in Germany, and I know when I see, I know what's happening. Okay, but thank you for bringing your opinion nonetheless. The fact that I've been talking means that I have many people, like many friends on the other side too, and I'm caught in between. I'm caught in between, and the only thing that I try to be is a good person. I don't want to I really looked up to the United States in my childhood when I grew up. You grow up as a kid with these American movies, and that freedom, that importance of freedom, and I appreciate that. I like that about the United States, and right now I'm a little bit worried they might lose it. I would hate to see that. I would hate to see my American friends being in such a situation. Like a lot of conservatives always used to say, you can't say that anymore. You just can't say your opinion anymore. Like when at the time when the media was kind of overdoing it, you know, canceling someone every week. It's the same thing right now. The fact that I'm defending, you know, the kind of stuff that I believe in shows how politics has become. You can't really be for stuff like the basic stuff, kindness, not having a dictatorship suddenly. You can't even say that anymore without being attacked. So yeah. But nonetheless, I'm happy to. Earlier today, there was a political party in the stream. So I'm really open to having to surprises. So yeah. So thank you for not agreeing with me. I don't need that. It's not that I can deal with someone having different opinion. So okay, thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. I always try to be spontaneous, take the stream into whatever direction it goes. And today it was like this. Tomorrow it will be back to normal. But I find it important to say the things right now, because I'm just not long term. I don't know if I'm here next year or in 2 years or in 3 years. My health isn't great. And the one thing that I want people to know about me is that I wasn't like right now. So many people hate each other. I'm not. I want to have a positive presence, and every now and then that crosses over into the political. And I'm sorry for people who are just here for the plans. But the older you get, the more it matters what you say. The more you like that people respect you for being true to yourself, even if it would be easier to not be like that. And that is what I wanted to say. So thank you guys. Thank you for allowing me to be like that. And let's talk again next time. Get back to the plan next time. Okay? Thank you guys. Have a nice day. Thank you.